What does high score mean? New high score, is that bad? What does that mean? Should I break it?
Hello everyone and welcome to Veteran Gaming. I am Aaron. Tonight we're going to be talking about Eternal Evolution and discussing a little bit about the state of the game. And this video is actually very difficult for me to make because I've made a ton of videos on Eternal Evolution, been playing it since the day it was released, and at this point in the game, I am having difficulty even opening the app because I just don't have the motivation to play, which is why I probably owe a lot of subscribers an apology, because I made a lot of content for this game. I picked up a lot of subscribers that enjoyed watching my content on this game, and frankly, I haven't made one in, I don't know, what's it been, weeks now? I don't know, just because I'm struggling to even have the motivation to play it, let alone make a video on the content. And I know that pay to win versus free to play has been a big problem with Eternal Evolution because some heroes are unobtainable other than putting money into the game, and that's not even what I'm most upset about. That is an absolute bummer. At the end of the day, I understand this is a business. They do need to make some money to keep the game going and to produce new content, but that's not even what I'm the most upset about. For me, there are a couple of really main factors that have really taken this game and almost destroyed it for me personally, and I know that a lot of people have been kind of quitting playing. So I want to talk about some of the main problems that I see. And if you guys agree or disagree, please put it in the comments section down below. If I'm way off base on this, please let me know, because I really enjoyed playing this game for a long time and I would love to get back to that. But I'm just very concerned, and I don't know if it ever will, just because of some of the pillars that this game is built on. All right, so now that I'm done rambling with the intro, let's talk a little bit about what I'm talking about. And the first main problem I want to highlight is the power creep in this game. And I'm pulling up the vanguards here to kind of illustrate. Because you start the game with your elites, right? Artis is a big one. Nafang came in later and was good. But once you start hitting your triple S's, then all elites are completely gone. And then you have heroes here like Guan Yu, who was in the game since it launched. Nobody ever played him. Just a terrible, terrible hero. All of the elites, Artis, Nafang, they were all better than Guan Yu pretty much from the day the game started. They even started to put a bleed effect into the game, which Guan Yu is faced off of. They made a mythic prototype, and then they never really went anywhere with the bleed. Guan Yu has just been a worthless hero, and he's technically a triple S. So then you have heroes like Crete and Leo, which you couldn't play this game if you didn't have a Crete or Leo at one point. They were so dominant and so important. And now Crete has been completely power crept out of the game. Leo kind of sticks around, maybe, depending on who your vanguards are. But now if you have Ares Barog and Claire, what's her name? Claire Titanhand. Claire Titanhand is better at one evolution level than Leo is completely unlocked with the best gear, the best evolutions, all the talents, everything. At one evolution level. That power creep is absolutely insane. Some of the best games I've played, some of the longest lasting games I've played, Raid Shadow Legends, Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes. They don't have to be the top tier hero class, and they're still applicable to multiple areas of the game. They all still have a function. The balancing is spectacular in those games, and that's why they've been around for 4+ years for Raid. And what's Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes, 2015? They're almost walking up on 10 years because they don't power creep out heroes and teams totally. Yes, obviously there is some. They have to keep the game moving to keep it interesting. You can't just have one meta team the whole time. But this is just absurd the way they power creep heroes out. And it's happened with like the Hunters too. There's a couple triple S's here. Azina and I don't even know her name. Moriami. Never played a single time with either one of them. They've just been completely worthless heroes. I've gotten a ton of work out of several elites. Taylor, Old John, Bot, they all serve a purpose. But those triple S's, Moriami and Azina, have never seemed to serve a purpose, have just been there, I don't know, for show. And even Taylor and Old John and Bot have essentially been crept out by the new Hunters coming to the game. Pregor, another triple S, essentially worthless. Had some function earlier just because totally free to play. You could max her out very easily. But even Emma's starting to be power crept out. And it's just frustrating. They came out with a skin for Emma too. which is a really cool addition to the game, super cool, but you're not even going to see her anymore because she's been completely power crept out. And I know that they've started this awakening system like good old Daniel has, but first of all, the system summoner, sorry, to get him awakened is just crazy long process, which nobody really wants to dump resources into or try, because the only way to get him right now is this digital war, which I absolutely hate. It's so RNG dependent, but I'm going to try to not get on that rant right now. So I understand that they're trying to combat the power creep a little bit, but if they're adding one hero to the awakening system, and say it's like the SP hero, so say it's like at a pace of every 4 to 6 months, it's going to take you that long to just get that hero up. There's no way they're going to keep pace and keep all these heroes in the game, especially if they're releasing a hero every 2 weeks. So I don't know. The power creep and the balancing system for the heroes is just awful. Like, I love the way that Raid has elite heroes, not even triple S, or what do they have, like legendaries. They have elite heroes, rare heroes that are still hugely important to specific dungeons and specific events in the game. You see none of that here. Maybe a tiny bit of Taylor just because you can control him and jump him, but that's essentially it. You really don't need any other elite hero for any purpose now, and it's a bummer. Like, we got attached to these heroes, right? Like, Taylor was the man. Vegnus was really good. Na Fang, Donkey Kong was awesome. They really, really helped, and they were so fun. I love the heroes. I've always loved Leo. He's such a cool model, such a cool spin. He heals like there's just... They did so much work to make amazing heroes and essentially wasted it, in my opinion, because now we don't even play with them, right? They don't even have the added luxury of like Lord of the Rings or Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes, right? Like, you have a connection with some of those heroes because you've seen the books and the movies and you love that particular hero. Eternal Evolution's making them all up, other than the collab heroes. So it took us some time to get like, oh man, Northeon is awesome. I have a connection with Northeon. And how much longer until Northeon's gone? Every hero you get a connection with or actually enjoy playing with, suddenly they're just power crept out. It's very disappointing. So that, to me, is probably the biggest problem, because then you also forces you to continue to want to put money into the game and to keep drawing the newest heroes, because without the newest heroes, you're not going to get the latest level of content down. And I say latest level of content down because my second big problem is the content is insanely repetitive at this point. Like Lost Valley, the fact that I still have to play that out every time and I can't just automatically sim it is just driving me crazy. Crimson Abyss, Katosian Triangle, these are all just slight variations of the exact same thing over and over and over. And yes, they make them a little bit more difficult, but it's just it just feels the same over and over and over again. These rift fissures, like, why did they come out with these if they're not going to keep them going? They were actually kind of fun little puzzles, but they just stopped, and that's been it. Ancient Altar hasn't been touched since the day this game was released, which is infinitely more frustrating because the way to get the best rewards is 1 attack in normal to smoke it, 1 attack in hard to kill it, and then 3 attacks in hell mode. So it's really frustrating that I can't just even knock it out. So it's been a crazy easy event. It is really important because you get a lot of gene hybrids and you can get some good limited cards from it, so it's important, but they haven't touched it since the day the game was released. It's just, why am I still doing this exact same thing when it's been over a year? I haven't even added a difficulty level. And these, the endless battle, the collaboration events, they're all just so recycled at this point. I have no interest in even playing them. Really, the only thing they came out with that was truly new, and I know some people out there, like, there are other mobile games that are just card games like this, so it's not like they created the whole concept. I understand that. But new to Eternal Evolution is this card game, and it has nothing to do with the game. If you have good things in the game, it means nothing to that. It's totally random the way you're getting those cards, and it's just so frustrating. I just don't understand. There's been so many decisions lately that I don't understand. So to me, the two major issues are the power creep of the heroes and the fact that the content is just not new. They're not updating it the way they should be. There's nothing other than the story mode and the soul mine, which, by the way, who even still tries at these? They're essentially the same thing over and over too. They're just boring at this point. I hate to use this word, but they are just boring at this point. Who even cares? Give me something good, like Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes has, what is it, the Conquest, where there are specific challenges for using specific heroes to defeat a certain number of enemies kind of in each different level. And it's really difficult. Only the true whales beat it every time. Raid has that tower event where you can climb hundreds of levels and you're still reaping new rewards. Like, give me something to strive for other than Twilight Lands, which at this point also, if you've been playing for a while, you can usually beat it pretty easily in a couple of days, and it's so much the same. And maybe it's all just based on the fact that the combat system is set up the way it is, with the commander that helps only one class. I've been begging for months and months and months to have some kind of generalist hero, because right now we have the commander system the way you do. Tanks can only play with tanks to get the best benefit, vanguards with vanguards, so on and so on. Can you imagine if they came up with a generalist commander and you can mix and match all of these heroes to see who plays the best, who kind of benefits everybody else? It would just really open the game up, especially in PvP, which is like, okay, I'm going to a PvP round. They're going to have 3 teams. One of them is going to be assassins. One of them is going to be tanks. One of them is going to be summoners. Maybe they'll throw in an energy team, and then it'll get really wild. Like, that's kind of it. At the highest level, the whales might have a little bit more fluctuation in the teams they face, but at my level, it's the same teams over and over and over again, and I can't even get myself to be excited about any of that content. So let me know what you guys are thinking. I, again, apologize that I haven't really been making content on Eternal Evolution lately for all the subscribers and all the support I've been given over the years for my channel, for this game. I owe you guys an apology, but I am just absolutely struggling with this game right now. So help me out. Throw in some positives down below. Tell me why you are still playing, and I hope it's not just because I dumped a bunch of money into it so I feel obligated. Hopefully you guys are getting some enjoyment out of this. You can show me so that I can take a little bit more of a positive attitude and keep the game and keep the content coming. If you enjoy the video, please give me a big thumbs up. Don't forget to leave me feedback down below. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already done so. That way you're not missing upcoming content. And as always, guys, have fun. Good luck.
So I got that going for me, which is nice.